This is game number 3. It's tied 1-1, and it has been a very quick series. Game 1 ended with a speedling all in. Game number 2 started with some zergling baneling pressure, but was drawn out to the 10-minute mark. What's game number 3 got in store? Well, King Sejong Station is the host, and spawning down to the lower right, we've got the green zerg representing AT Gaming, Elazer. And his opponent, spawning to the top left, the pink zerg, representing Vega Squadron, JonnyREcco. This should be an awesome game. I'm really excited to see how this gets going. But all in all, it's going to be a fairly interesting season for the most part. Because did I say season or series? I meant series. Because it's tied 1-1, and being tied 1-1, there's kind of two chains of thought from this point forward. You can go, right, we've both gone for very aggressive plays in the first 2 games, don't want to break with tradition. Alternatively, you both sit there and go, okay, we've both had our quick win, let's make things more standard now. And with 15 hatches for both players, that could very well be what they've got in plan. Overlords bumping in the middle. Not exactly, they don't bump heads precisely because they're gunning for this area, because that's where they're able to see, obviously, the natural base if it's been taken or not. Both players are taking the natural, no gas geysers as of yet, so both playing a very economic based build at the moment, neither doing anything too crazy as of yet. Down goes the natural hatch on both sides, and this is pretty much an exact mirror of a mirror matchup. First variation comes from REcco, who takes his gas, whereas Elazer appears to be gunning towards a gasless expand for the moment. The winner of this will be obviously facing off against either Tefl or Seoul, depending on the result of their semi-final. And that means either a ZvZ or ZvT final is going to be coming up. And those finals, that's where some money's on the line. Only €75, winner with 50, second place 25. But still, nice little prize pool, and definitely something that you want to be getting your hands on. Also, the winner gets a spot in the €600 monthly finals. That's where there's a lot of fun on the line, and to be honest, that's why most of these high tier players are competing in this. €600 for a 16-player invitational, definitely worth the money. Definitely worth the time, specifically in the Monday Go for SC2 Cup, because that's where they can win potentially €50 and instantly qualify. One night's work, €50, and then a shot at a share of €600 at the end of the month. That's worthwhile. For the moment, speed getting started up for REcco. Elazer getting this scout down initially. Knows it's not too early, but also hopefully should see the shimmering of the spawning pool, but also the extractor still with 3 drones in it. Generally, and this is a big generalization, this will lead into an earlier baneling nest. There's very few reasons you keep that gas coming in with 3 drones unless you want to be getting this baneling nest down. But with the spine, it's purely defensive banelings. REcco's learnt his lesson from the speedling all-in of the first game and doesn't want to get caught off guard again by that. Ready to counteract anything that Elazer could really be throwing at him. And so Elazer grabs down his first 2 gases. He's gone gasless until this point, which is why we see the 4 queens. And all in all, this is a very nice game. This is getting much more into the standard, and it's really going to be the mid-game that will be very interesting. Will it be roach on roach? Will it be any mutalist play? Both are strong possibilities. We've kind of gone past the period of time where zergling baneling will be a likely occurrence, especially on Elazer's side. Going zergling baneling off of gasless isn't really a thing. It doesn't work too well. It's far too late. REcco, he's also going really quickly up to a lair. May very well see some additional gases get taken. If we see 3 additional gases, mutas. If only 2 additional gases get taken, probably a very fast +1 roach speed timing. Both common builds. Elazer adding in his roach warren now, so he is also looking to gun up those roaches with the evolution chamber as well. Should be a +1. REcco though goes to 4 gases. It's not guaranteed, but it's fairly likely that 4 gases will lead into Mutalisks, just because that gives you a good amount of gas income in order to really start pumping that. You've got 400 gas a minute. if you bank it all up because you're not spending it on banelings, you're not spending it on roaches, that can work quite well for you. So, third base timing is going to go to Elazer. He gets his down substantially quicker than REcco's, and REcco will throw down the roach one. I'm still banking... Okay, I'm no longer banking on this being mutas now. Just because he added in the evolution chamber. If we didn't see the Evo, I still would have put my money on it being mutas most likely. Actually, it is. It's still going to be that. Why is the Evo coming down? Okay, this is quite interesting. Generally, you won't see this evolution chamber. The roach one, sometimes you will, just in case you're fearful of some roach aggression. You want to have that option to get it down. But the +1 missile attack is very interesting because this is obviously soaking up a decent amount of gas. It's 100 gas, which when you're mining 400 a minute is a quarter of your gas income that minute in game. But more importantly, it shouldn't really need to get used for anything. Okay, this is quite important. REcco has discovered that the third base was up a lot earlier than his, and is getting quite a few units out. He's also preparing to defend this speedling attack. Elazer gonna get some nice damage. Decent baneling hits, though, will prevent much going down. Actually, no workers were killed. Wow, I thought a couple were. Elazer, however, he is morphing in an almighty amount of banelings right now. And this is a very unusual timing. 9 minutes, there's not much here for REcco. He's going to have to try and trade with this pretty well. A couple of baneling detonations go down. His own morphing through. Should be fairly safe. All the trades keep on coming. Nice detonation. 3 banelings remain, but with 2 queens and the spine there, shouldn't be too concerning. Just delays mining from this third base. Meanwhile, 5 mutalisks coming through. Roach speed and +1 also coming here for REcco. Just so he's got a bit more mobility on these roaches, but that's obviously 200 gas or 2 less mutalisks straight away, but does give him a stronger defense with what Elazer's throwing at him. 7 mutas now in production. Roach speed heavily delayed for Elazer, and his overall gas is not really there because he made so many banelings. That was the thing. The banelings were a massive gas sink for the green Zerg, but he knows the mutalisks are coming. Did he actually scout anything here, or did he just... Did he see them? No, he's seen them. They were attacking his overlords. Okay, so he knows they're coming. Adds in spores. Shouldn't take too much damage. Meanwhile, Elazer adds in the hydrogen. REcco continues to drone up. The drone count slightly in REcco's favour, who actually manages to get a pretty substantial supply block thanks to taking down these overlords. In total, 78 to 62 supply, and for the moment, Elazer has not... Oh, okay, no, he's got 7 overlords coming. That's fine. Interesting game. Mutas, not a heavy commitment to them. That's the big thing. There's only 8. Forcing down a lot of spawns. Forcing down the hydrogen. And also picking off a good number of overlords. These two just sneaking away. Very lucky there. Queen's duking down now with the mutas. The mutas are going to have to back out. Remember, there's only a very small number of them. Don't quite get to see the overlord. Or did they catch it? No, they did. Okay, so this is a treacherous overlord who gave away his buddy as well. 2 more overlords. Another supply block. Although, only going to last a fraction of a second because instantly a few more overlords will pop through. REcco continues to really dominate the map using these mutalisks. That's their purpose. I'm starting to see a bit more of what REcco was planning. All of Elazer's build is against a heavy mutalisk play at the moment. We've got lots of spores, lots of hydras. The roach production, pretty much cut. But behind this, REcco is pumping nothing but roaches. A very heavy investment, +2 coming through, roach speed finished. His plan is to catch this army off guard with too few roaches to buffer the damage. With the banelings as well, if they can connect with the hydras, the lightly armored hydralisks, the damage is intense, and the fight goes heavily in REcco's favour. But, is this known about? Has it been seen? It shouldn't have been. 1 overlord for REcco. It's going to fall to the hydras. They keep on edging forward. The hydralisks do not have speed at the moment. In comes. Baneling's still hidden. They haven't been seen yet. And they've got to come as a surprise. The roach is engaging. The first baneling's rolling down. They get some good detonations. A few connecting with the hydras. And so many roaches here for REcco. A couple flanking from behind, but not enough to deal catastrophic damage. Remember, the Hydralisks do not have speed. They cannot retreat away from this. They're going to get caught out as they retreat, adding a couple of Mutalisks just to pick away. And Rico is looking very happy with how that trade went for him. Resources lost. Elazer losing a substantial more than Rico so far. And the roach count heavily favouring the Vega Squadron Zerg. It's a frantic hurry in order to mount a defense to this, because these roaches are very scary at the moment. Banelings also morphing through the third hatch, vulnerable. Not the greatest position to trade, but with spores getting taken out and a couple of mutas there, they just add a little bit more punch into this army. Nice positioning around that Vespian Geyser. Gets a good concave for Rico, who starts crushing through these roaches. Reinforcements are not here yet. Rico trading incredibly nicely at the moment, able to take down a lot of these roaches. A lot of drones also dying, giving Rico an over 10 drone lead at the moment. Picking this down, GG is called, and Rico takes the game with some smart plays. 2-1, he takes the series and advances into the final, guaranteeing himself some prize money.